everybody, welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I'm here today with another craft along. So I'm still working on my Woodland journal using my Wildwood Wonder Kit. And today we're going to just make this big flip up pocket deal. So it is collaged on the front with some of my ripstrip owls and just some washi and paper. And this really cool upholstery trim fringe on the bottom, and that's actually going to hang, you can see it's going to hang off the edge of my paper, which I love because this is going to be one of those journals that's really chunky and stuff. And then this whole thing flips open like so, and there's a Tim Holtz paper vellum pocket here. And in the pocket is just a big copy stained index card with a tab on there. And then down here, this is just a big, real kind of like torn, rustic pocket. And it's wider than, so it's wider than the edges and longer than the paper. And that's a big fabric pocket. And then there's some collaging. And there's a tag on the front with a little string in it. And then there is this paper envelope here with a little I for Imagine Ephemera. So that goes into this pocket. This goes in here. And then in the fabric pocket back here, I just have an O for Owl card. And that goes back there. And then this is all sewn on, and behind this big thing is also a pocket. So at the top here, there's a pocket. So you guys can hang out with me and craft along if you want. And we'll go ahead and make this. So I'm going to get myself a page out of my other signature over here. So let's see. Put this, remember when we made that? That was fun. We persisted and we made it. Okay, here's a blank page out of this signature. Oh, just kidding. It's not a blank page. Look, it's the other one that we made and persisted. Well, that's the one you didn't make with me. Sorry guys, I totally should have planned out which page I was going to put this on first. You know, far be it from me to plan too much in advance. There we go. Here is a blank page with nothing on it. That's what I was looking for. So, this is just a big piece of coffee stained paper. Real crunchy one. I like that. And we're going to put this pocket on here. So, first, I have my paper pile here. I did cut some things up beforehand. This paper is 12 inches long, and I believe it's 4.5 inches wide. What I was going for was, you know, I wanted to make this pocket real big. So that's what I was going for on this. So, and it's just folded in half. Let me get my example back out here again. So I wanted it to be tall on the page, right? So it's only folded in half. So this is a 6-inch pocket here. So it's real deep because we create the fabric pocket just over the top of this. So we are just going to fold this one in half. So 6, I'm doing 6 by 4.5 because I wanted it to be wide as well. So, let's bone folder that. Alright. And do I want to put it on this side? Yeah, I might as well. So there we go. See how that takes up a nice chunk of the page, and it gives us a nice deep pocket back here, but it also gives us kind of just a nice big space to do some collaging on. Yeah. But before I collage anything, I'm going to, so I took my Tim Holtz vellums. So these are at the back of the Tim Holtz you know, you get, it's a 12 by 12 pad, and you get the 12 by 12 sheets, and then at the back there are like a couple sheets of 6 by 6 squares, and then there are smaller like 2 by 3 or something like that. But this is the 6 by 6 squares, and I just cut it down to fit here because when we flip open, we're going to have it have this pocket be up here. Well, I thought I cut it down and I forgot to make it short. You see, it's overlapping on the top. That's okay. We can fix that with a pair of scissors real quick. Even though I got my brand new precision paper cutter, which I really do love, some things I still just do with the scissors. All right. So on my other one, I had the opening over here, but I like these flowers, so I'm going to make my opening here. And I do that with I just have my 2.5 inch punch. Oh, look, there I am. It's like a mirror. So I'm going to just make a notch on the side. And I'm going to do it, you don't have to do it right in the middle. You can make your notch wherever you want, because there's like this part down here. I kind of want to make my notch up here. So that's how I'm going to do. Right about there-ish. There we go. And then I'm going to ink around this really quick. If you were watching my last video, I think I was probably talking about how I thought I had bought ground espresso ink at the store, and I did not. I went back and looked at my receipt, and I did not. But guess what? Look, I was at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I got myself some ground espresso, so now I'm a happy girl. I was at Hobby Lobby because they were having a big sale and on like tabletop and like storage things and stuff, and my parents were just here they were on vacation, so they came and stayed at our house for a few days. And my dad helped me build this big extension on my desk over there, and then a huge shelf over the top of that. So I have this nice big like new space, and I wanted to have some organization there, but you know, I didn't just want regular organization. I wanted Hobby Lobby cutesy organization. So I did that, and it's adorable over there. But I'm still trying to get it all organized. But I was at Hobby Lobby, and I made sure I got my ground espresso. All that to say. All right, so here's the top of this. And you know what? I'm going to, while I'm thinking about it, and while I'm talking about ground espresso, I'm going to go ahead and use it to ink around the edges of this. This is the Distress Oxide. It's not just the Distress ink, it's Distress Oxide. So the difference being, this has almost, on certain papers, almost like so this is a kind of usually like a dark brownish color, but then on this dark, the ground espresso has kind of a dark, almost black, kind of brown color. But the oxide, when you put it on this paper, and I'll show you once I get it on here and kind of get it dried up, because you can't see it, kind of, I don't know, I'll bring it up to the camera and see if you can see, but it gives it almost like a chalky look. And with oxides, you can really play with them. You can spray them with water. So can you see that it almost gives it kind of this grayish chalkiness? Oh, let me show you. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to put my hands on it quickly. See that kind of chalkiness down here? But that's ink. If I were to spray it with water, it would leave these really cool, like, watermarks almost. Well, not almost. It is. It's watermarks. They're really cool. So Distress Oxides are fun to play with. They react to water, and it makes a really cool effect. But then I also like how putting this darker color on this darker paper kind of almost gives it like I went around the edges with the chalk paint. It's really cool. Not all of them will do that, but this darker color does. And it's a fresh ink pad, so it's nice and juicy and inked up. All right. Oops. That's the thing with those little makeup sponges, they roll all over. Okay, so that's inked, this is inked. This is going to go up here. And what I'm going to do is sew around these 3 edges, leaving this side open to tuck that, to tuck the coffee stained index card. So I just have another one of my coffee stained index cards. These are the giant ones. I think I just got them at Target. You can get them anywhere, office supply places, Walmart, you know, Walgreens, anywhere. These are just the giant ones. I don't know what the measurements are. These are 5 by 8. So folded in half, it fits perfectly into this pocket right here. And I'm not going to put any sort of design on this or anything, because when it goes in here, it just kind of acts as a nice background for this paper, and you really get, it brings out the design on the vellum really nicely. So there you can't really see it all that much, but then once you put this behind it, you can really see the floral and kind of this prettiness. So I'm going to sew around that. I'm also going to, so I'll do all my sewing in just a minute when you guys, I'm going to pause it and stuff. But so here's the pocket, right? It flips up, and I create a fabric pocket here. So I've got this fabric that I've been using, this super cool like batik-ish fabric from Joanne, and it just totally works with my woodland theme here. So what I want is a piece that is slightly wider than, because I'm going to just sew over the top of it kind of. And I want this journal is going to be very rustic, very shabby, you know, very kind of not too anything too perfect. So I want this to be just slightly wider, so I'm going to put a nick in it right there and give it a rip, like so. The other sides have already been ripped, so it is nice and ripped. There we go. So now it's just slightly bigger than the card below it. So when it closes, you'll see it kind of hanging out the edges. Excuse me, like that, right? So you kind of, it gives it this rusticy, shabby, frayed fabric hanging out the edges look. I'm going to see if I can put you guys in a little bit closer. All right. So it's going to give it this cool, like, you know, look around the edge. Also, in my example, I put a piece of red, bright red sari here along the top of the pocket just to stabilize it and give it a little more kind of bulk right there. Not bulk isn't the right word, but just stabilize it to make it so it you know, it goes in and out, plus to provide a little bit of interest. So I am going to grab a piece. Let's see, what do I have around? The things I have been working with over here are buried. Oh, well, here we go. I have some more of that very same color. So let's do it, y'all. I'm gonna grab a piece about that long, and we're gonna put it right here. Again, this isn't ripped very pretty. It's not, you know, it's got like a big flappy thing on it right there, but I like that. Sometimes I try to be more precise. This journal is not a precise type of journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this across the top of the fabric first, and then I am going to sew this fabric, essentially sewing this to the paper. So I'm going to sew this across, and then I'll lay it down like this and go from here just down across the fabric and through the paper and through the top layer of the page that I'm attaching it to as well. That way it's attached, and then like on the inside you'll see the stitch marks like that. So that is, I like exposed stitch marks like this. I think you can journal around them, and I kind of just like how it looks. It's not for everybody, but I like it. So you're going to see it like this, but that's essentially what I'm going to do, is attach the envelope and the fabric pocket at the same time. I hope that makes sense. I will also be stitching this on to the top here, and then when I come back, we will move. Oh, I'm also going to put on a piece of trim. I don't know if I'm going to use this fringy one. I'll use something. I'm going to go look real quick because I forgot to grab that out. So I'm going to grab either a piece of lace or some fringy stuff, probably fringy stuff. Oh, my trick with the fringy stuff is, you know, if you've ever used this, it wants to, like, if you cut it, it wants to fray and fray and fray, and it doesn't want to stop, and then these little twisty guys come off and everything. So what I do is, and there's probably no way you're going to be able to see this. Can you see that at all? Right there, I go with my sewing machine like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I pull two of the twists. Let's see, I'm doing this. I pull two of the twists apart like this, and then I go with my sewing machine back and forth, back and forth, back and forth across that part. And then I snip just slightly to the side of that. So like right there, that's, you can kind of see what I've done. I don't know. Oh, and there's one little loose guy, so I'll snip that off. But that's what I do, and then it stops it from all just like falling apart. There we go. It stops it from all falling apart and fraying. So I've done that on both sides here, and then I've just sewn across the top. So I am going to do that again as well. I sewed that on as I sewed around the pocket. That was a trick, but I managed to just lay it nicely along here and then sew around the edge. That was a trick. But anyway, I'm going to do that for here. I'm going to do the sewing for this, and then I will be right back. Hang on a second. When I come back, I'll be sewn up. Okay guys, so I sewed around, but right as I was finishing the sewing, I realized one of these things is not like the other. Why do I do this all the time to myself? So this is just some copy stained paper and a label from my grungy labels. So I have another one cut out here, a label from my grungy labels kit. And I sewed this on before I sewed the fabric on this one. I just didn't do that here because look at it, it's all sewn on there. See that? Sewn around the edges. Oh, okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got another old piece of, this is just really roughly torn. This has already got one torn edge. Let's go ahead and tear a couple more. And then we will ink, and then I will figure out what I'm going to do. I think I'll probably just sew the label, because these on here, it makes two pockets. So it makes this into a pocket, the label, but it also makes this paper into a pocket because I just sewed around the edges here. So I think what I'll do is just sew the label onto this and then put a scrap piece of paper down in here in case the Fabri-Tac goes through, but I'll just glue it down on there, and we will go from there. So it'll have the same look. It'll still look like it's sewn to the fabric. It'll just not be actually sewn to the fabric. It'll just only be sewn to this paper and glued to the fabric. No mistakes, just opportunities to innovate your own project over and over again. Okay, that bent over, so let's make sure we get that, and then, yeah, so that'll be how it goes. And I kind of sewed this one on cattywampus, so I'm going to do that to this one as well. And, oh, let me just do this. Cover all the bases, Nikki. Okay, so, I'm going to go pause this one more time. I'm going to go sew the label to this paper, and then I will be right back. But before I come back, I'm just going to do some thinking for just a minute and make sure that I'm not rushing through this and that I'm actually doing everything in the right order. Because I made this one like a week ago and intended to film it right away, and then I didn't get to because of all the like rearranging and desk and everything. So then I had the stuff set up, and yeah. So I'm going to give myself a good long hard think for a second as I'm sewing this, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Okay guys, so I sewed this on to the paper, and now I'm going to glue it onto here. And to do so, I am going to just use a piece of my scrappy inking paper and put it back here like this, because I don't want this to glue through and glue the, I don't want it to glue the fabric to the back of my envelope. So I'm just going to get that back in there. Then we're going to do this. I gave myself a moment of, you know, introspection there. And I thought for a second, maybe I'll just blame it on, you know, it's the end of the school year almost. We have like 14 days left. And we're so darn close. Last week was a super crazy week at school. So on top of my parents being here and visiting, also just the seniors have this huge project for economics that is like this massive research project, and it was due last Thursday. And a lot of I work with special ed, so a lot of my students just needed a little extra help on it. So not only do they do the project, but I end up doing the project every year with them. I end up doing large chunks of it with them. So it was just a crazy week. They were all, of course, behind and rushing to the last minute. Some of them were on top of it, but okay. So I thought, well, maybe that, yeah, see, that is getting a little gluey back there. So we're just going to leave this here for a sec. Make sure I can move this, though. I suppose I could rip it off if I really needed to, if it got totally, like, and horribly glued. I just want to slide it over and make sure I'm getting all the edges. Anyway, I thought maybe I could blame my absent-mindedness on that, but honestly, I just think it's kind of who I am sometimes. And I don't want to blame it on something it's not. So while I'm waiting for this to glue so that I can pull that out, okay, I'm going to close this, except to show you that I used 2 Tracy Fox tiny tags on either side here to create this tab. So let's go ahead and make our tab on the little folded thing. I grabbed a couple of tiny tags, and I noticed they need to be inked. So normally I go with, like, you know, all one color of ink in a book for some reason, but this one I got all the inks out up there. Got a whole array of them. I've been using green and yellow and black and Gathered Twigs and Vintage Photo, and now my new Ground Espresso, since I finally actually got it, because I like how it all adds. Okay, so I want the tab to go, so I want the pink line up just because that's me, and that's like my kind of anal thing, because that's how it goes. And then when it slides in, I want this tab has to go on here, because if we put it on the folded side, that would just, it wouldn't fold anymore nicely. So it's going to go here. And to do this, I'm just going to use my sticks to more surfaces. Do you see that? So I figured that must be good, right? If it sticks to more surfaces. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get my gluey paper here. And it's this pretty purple. So I can see where I have applied it. You know, there's something to that technology, actually. The whole, like, purple so you can see where you've applied it thing is actually kind of brilliant. But here's what I was going to say. I want to make sure that I get it, that I measure it. So I'm putting it where it needs to go so that it comes out the side of the the little hole that we cut, or the notch that we cut. So there's that part, and then this one I only have to put glue on the bottom half because the top half of that one where it's going to match up is already glued, and it wants to come back. Okay. Now I just do the best job I can of lining them up, and because when I'm cutting out things like this, they don't always, you know, line up perfectly, so you can always just trim off an edge, which it looks like I might have to do right here. But that's fine. That's why I ink the back a little bit too. Let's get rid of this. Make sure those are pushed together, and then I will give this one little edge a trim here. All right. There we go. So then that folds up and goes in here and matches up right where the notch is, and then also sticks out just past the edge a little bit. I like that because then when you close it, it kind of sticks out past the edge here as well. So when you open it, it sticks out past the edge. All right, so that top part is finished. This bottom part, I'm going to say that's probably dry. This stuff dries so fast. Yeah, that's really good. So I have these little white tags, and they're just super bright white. So I am going to ink this guy up a little bit. Oh, and I'm going to trim it down too, because I think I had it in here and that's too tall. So I took a good chunk off the bottom here. You know, sort of evenish. Yeah, there, now it fits in there better. So, and then let's just really ink the heck out of it. Zhuzh, 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 both sides. And I am using my hot mess ink technique, which means I am really just not trying to be careful at all about how I ink. I am just hot mess inking. Like that. And we're going to put a little piece of twine in there. And I've been doing this because I don't know why, I just like the way it looks. So I fold it in half so there's a loop at one end. And then I put that whole, then I fold that whole thing over again. Like this. Whoops. And then put it through. Something you should know about the hot mess ink technique is that the ink tends to get all over your hands. So, you know, if you're trying to go somewhere, if you're a professional hand model, the hot mess ink technique is probably not for you. There we go. So see, then you end up with like a loop and a couple of loose strings. I don't know, I kind of like it. And then I've got an M for mushroom. Yep, that's cute, and that will go back in the pocket back here. And then I also have another one of these. I got these at Joann in, like, I'm going to ink as I talk. There's by the paper crafting supplies, there is usually, I think at every Joann I've seen, there's like this bin of cheap supplies, like cheap little packets of supplies, and they're called like Miss Sparkle, something Sparkle. Miss Sparkle? I don't know, but they're like packages of cheap supplies. And sometimes you find, you know, it's hit or miss. Sometimes you find really great stuff in there. And I found these and I was like, oh, they're cool. And I thought they were just cardstock, but they are like, or I mean, I thought they were just craft paper, but they're actually like, these ones, the craft ones, are like heavy duty cardstock. Also, they're not really aligned very well here on top. You see that? Oh, can you see it? They're not aligned very well. They weren't cut very well or folded or whatever it is. did not work out all that well, but that's okay because, you know, they're called junk journals, people. And then I'm just going to put a piece of this. I think I got this at, oh my gosh, I've got string, I've got things everywhere. Oh. All right, I think I got this at Michael's, if I'm not mistaken, and I love it. And I don't have a ton of it left, but it's these pretty butterflies and bees and stuff. So I'm going to put a strip of this across the top, just kind of to dress it up. Okay. They're pretty butterflies. And then this goes in this pocket here. So that goes in the one created by the glue. So we've got the inside of this all done. We've got the pockets filled and we've got stuff. There's definitely more space for where this flashcard is back here. There's definitely more space in there. But I'm not going to fill it up because this will just go like this and then they can decide what they want to put in there. But when we close it, there's this big blank canvas, and then this is a pocket back here too. I will probably just make a tag out of the some of my leftover cardstock paper and blah blah blah. My off prints from the kit. But let's just do a little collage quick here on the front. I have a couple of my rip strips. I have some, I don't know what this is. Oh, this is Zoe kit, a Zoe Tofield kit. Actually, I was looking at this side. But let's print this side. Let's use this side. That's like totally perfect for this kit. Happy accidents, you guys. And then I'm going to rip a page out of my super fat Webster's Dictionary for Students. And it just has, you know, it's a little bit old. I don't know. It's not vintage or anything like that. But we're just going to rip a page out. And that'll be some of my background. So, okay. Let's not make sure there's no obscenity on this page. I hate when I, okay, we're going to rip off the page, that part that says ooze, because I don't want on my journal. We'll rip off the ooze part, because gross. That's one of those words, ooze. And then I think it was Gail who was crafting and said that she had been using some book page that she didn't realize had some naughty words on it or like some really questionable content, and it brought to mind all of the pages that I have stuck into books and thought, you know, I usually just give them a quick glance over, but I don't sit and read. But now I'm a little bit more careful about what I put in places, because I thought, I hope I've never sent a journal off to somebody with something questionable on a page. You know, mostly it's like Edith Holden and stuff. And there's not much questionable in Edith Holden's book. It's mostly nature poetry and stuff. Okay. So that's going to be my background. So, sticks to more surfaces. We're going to stick it to this one. It's got a little stringy there. What's that all about? Okay. So good. Okay. Now, oh, that's so cool. Okay. I want to kind of use this, there's like a dragonfly. So I kind of want to rip around that. And then there's a fern over here. So I kind of want to keep the fern. Okay. Zoe's kits. Have you guys ever used Zoe's kits? Do you watch Zoe? Her work is gorgeous. She, it's so funny because she just posted a video of a journal that she made, using her, well, I forget what it's called, but it's like grungy. She's calling it grungy, and then she talks about how she just can't do grungy, and she has a hard time with making things look grungy. And I just kind of laughed because I thought, like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I'm doing right now. I am grungying the heck out of my book. I'm gonna do this here. But she has some beautiful kits. You guys should, if you don't know about her, you should go check her out. Zoe Tofield. Gorgeous. She's from, I just got some stickers from her, or some die cuts from her shop, actually, and they just got here. And they're for this journal. They're beautiful. Actually, I could probably use one right here. What did I pull out? I pulled out birds, but now I have that there. I think I'm gonna do, I have this washi that's got gold in it, so I want to put a piece of that on here. So let's do that. I run my washi across the top of a glue stick like this because washi is not, oops, it does not, you know, stick for the long haul most of the time. So I give it a little extra help. There we go. So we've got some, that's like a gold foil to it. Let's see. Can I get you there? Yeah, kinda. Camera just doesn't pick up the beauty of all the things, right? So there's that. And then I have this super old vintage lace, and it's literally like falling apart, almost like moth-eaten looking. And I have this huge chunk of it here. I don't even know what this would have been on. It looks like at some point it was probably very pretty, but now it's just literally like falling apart almost. But I really like that deconstructed kind of look of it. And it's, I mean, it really is. It looks like it's been in a, you know, trunk somewhere for years and years. But I like how it adds dimension to things, and I'm going to use some. I used some in the other one. Let's see. I used some here just behind these rip strips. So let's just rip a strip. I like, you know what? I like this white owl up here. So rip we go. If you're just watching this and you haven't seen it before, these come from my Rip Strips kit, which I love. They are so fun to play with. They work so well for creating collages. I've been just working my way through decorating the signatures of this page, like, or up just the pages, the random pages of this book, because I kind of am just, you know, making little touches on a lot of pages. And these work so well to just collage down in the corner of something. Yeah, I like him right there. Let me zoom you guys back in a little bit here. Okay, just need to get rid of my gluey paper. All right, that works so perfect there. Okay, now the only trick with this stuff is, I mean, there's no way to see which way is up because it's like just moth-eaten, like I said. I'm going to apply a very good layer of glue here because I want this to stick down really well, and it's really textural, so I want to make sure that there's enough glue here to catch kind of all the little pieces and edges of this, and it's going to get all over my hands, but you know, some things can't be avoided. Okay, and then I'm going to glue him down over the top like this. I'm going to give him a good dose of glue as well, more than I would normally put on, because again, I want the glue to catch and go down through the layers of the lace and really bond him on there. I just don't want things falling apart. So I'm going to push him down on, and I'm just going to hold that for a second there. And really, we're done at this point. The only thing that needs to go is the tag. Let me cross over arms. I put a tag, like I said, I put a tag back here, just a big tag with some sorry. And I'll probably do something similar to that back here, but I think I'm going to make one out of some of the offcuts of my overprints of my kit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, guys, so there's that. I love the fringies. It's going to look super cute hanging out the bottom of my book. I'm going to try and, you know, I have some leaves and tabs and stuff hanging out the sides of it too. So I like this. I like the little fringies hanging off the bottom. And there we go. There's this one. Look at that. Isn't that perfect? It's like collaged already. And it matches the theme and the colors of this. So perfect. Okay, and then we flip that open, and we have the pocket down here with the little layered pockets on top, and this lovely Tim Holtz vellum pocket up here. So there we go, guys. Thanks for crafting along with me today, and hopefully now that I'm starting to get my area kind of back together here, hopefully I'll be able to be along with another project in the next few days. Like I said, this is a pretty busy time of year just because of, you know, the end of school and everything, but hopefully I'll be back sooner than later. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is that you are on this wonderful planet. I will see you guys again very soon. Thank you so much for all your love and comments, and leave a comment below. I read them all. I love to read them. I love to interact and talk with you guys, and I will see you again very, very soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.